Hi, this is Graham Jeacocke. Now, I still get the feeling that atheists don't understand what a belief is and how it behaves. Because they go on talking about how people have beliefs and they kill. But there's one thing you haven't thought about. Now, I want to ask you something. Do you trust yourself in what you do in life? Now, when you go to a job interview, do you trust yourself to answer the questions the way the questionnaire wants you to answer them? You don't want to say something stupid that will blow your chances of getting a job. Now, do you trust yourself when you're with a woman not to say something insulting or something that will wind her up or something that will put her off you? Do you trust yourself? You see, you have to trust yourself 24/7. You have to trust yourself every second of the day. Now, this is the thing. Atheists say, we want the evidence. We want the evidence. Now, atheists have no evidence that when they trust themselves, that they will do good. Because the most commonest things that an atheist does is talking to women or getting a job. And how many times do you completely mess up? Well, just let's take Richard Burton. He was a great actor, and it's a shame about his alcoholism that atheism caused. Now, he understood in a way loyalty, but he broke his loyalty by separating from his Elizabeth Taylor, his wife. Now, Richard Burton would make a great is it analogy? Well, it's a great contrast to the Christian. Now, you see, to be a Christian, you have to be loyal. But what does actually loyalty mean? Does it mean you have to obey them? Or does it mean you are loyal to them, that you stick with them? Now, Richard Burton was loyal to Elizabeth, but then he broke it off. But they still had a glimmer of togetherness. Now, I wasn't there, I can't verify it, but I mean, I think that would be a good question. What kind of Christian would Richard Burton make if Elizabeth Taylor was Jesus Christ, represented Jesus Christ, and Richard Burton represented the Christian? You see, being a Christian, well, not being a Christian, being a believer in the Old Testament and being a believer in Jesus is about loyal love. Now, to be loyal in the commands that the person you're being loyal to, that is a separate debate or a separate situation. Now, we are to be loyal to someone. Now, getting back to my point about trust and beliefs. Now, this really annoys me. Now, I don't have trust in myself to say the right things all the time. When I'm making these videos, I know I'm going to mess up. I'm going to disappoint God, and I'm going to disappoint you, and I'm going to disappoint myself. Not necessarily in the order I've said things, but because each day is different. But the fact is, on days I can trust myself in the things that I've I feel comfortable with. But things where I'm not comfortable, like with people, then the trust between myself to do the right thing is jeopardized. So when atheists go and say, you're not going to hurt someone, because I know that I'm not going to hurt someone, that is a very unwise thing to say. That is folly itself. Because if you look at marriage, two people made the decision, we will not hurt each other, we will love. And what does atheism demonstrate? Divorce exists. There is hurt. Now, about belief. Now, it is not just simply a belief. The belief for a Christian is you trust Jesus. You don't just trust the belief. And what is significant about Jesus is that Jesus had been through all the agonies that we go through. And he even went through the worst agony that the majority of us would never get to do, except for the people who are persecuted in the countries, persecuted Christians that get slaughtered. They have to carry the cross the same as Jesus. But the very lucky ones, like me, we don't. But the thing is, we trust Jesus. We don't trust ourselves in our belief. Because I want to illustrate it again with an athlete. No, well, it's not an athlete. Bruce Lee, right? If Bruce Lee was alive today, right? How many people would trust him to teach them martial arts? You would trust them because you know what he has to offer. Now, I can trust Jesus for the very same thing. I know what he has to offer because I read it. And this stupid argument that people, that historian Ehrman, who goes on about how you can't rely on what, how truthful a piece of text is, that is utterly garbage. If a text said, love people, now, it's fair to say a person can lie about saying to another person, love a person. But in the end result, whether they're deceiving that person, the person who's reading is going to love. Whereby the person is benefiting the world. So in the end, the argument is it's meaningless. Because it doesn't make sense that you're hating something that asks you to love people. Because atheism itself says, atheists themselves want to say, or do say, I want to love people. I hate it when I see people hurting each other. But you're attacking the one person that was loving. Are you that stupid? Are you that thick? You cried out for somebody to love, and the very person you rejected was what you wanted. You know, this is why I don't trust atheists. Because you talk about reasoning, you talk about education, you talk about facts. Well, the fact is, atheists might as well be apes for the good that their education has given them. They might as well be in the forests, because for 6,000 years, atheists, people who have not believed in God, have never passed a book down the ages telling people to love. That says it all. The history of atheism itself is non-existent, because atheists cannot love. You only love because you're surrounded by people and beliefs. It is the beliefs that you are crying out for, what the beliefs are talking about. You yourself do not love, for if you yourself loved, you would not be hating me. Anyway, I think I've said enough. Enjoy yourselves. I really mean it.